Coming in hot from Arizona, this is Trevor
and Troy Howard.
And you're on SoTellUs Time. You can have everything you want in your business. Sometimes you just need a little help.
Every business owner would love to charge more for their services, but sometimes you can sacrifice long-term loyalty for a short-term profit.
Creating the right rituals is key to your business having success.
Are you tired of competing with your competitors? Guess what? You don't have to compete if you create.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of SoTellUs Time. It's a great Tuesday morning. Monday, I'm sure, was very successful for you guys, very focused. It's the Tuesday after Easter, so that probably, Easter weekend was a fun weekend. I'm sure you guys had a great time. And it's going to be a good one today. Troy and I just recently got back from an event in Texas, turning right around and flying back to Texas for another event. So we're going to be heading out here in a day and on our way back to Dallas. Lots of Dallas events this year. You know, funny thing is too, we have other events coming up throughout the year, and like several in Nashville as well.
Yes.
Tennessee. I'm excited about those though. It's fun. I feel like I've been to all these places. We go to Florida a lot. We go to Texas a lot. People come to Arizona a lot for events.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I'm tired of going to the same places all the time. It's exciting. Actually, with COVID and everything like that, people have had to be more creative of where they have events, because in some states and cities still have weird rules or, you know, numbers on things, only so many people. So like Nashville seems to be quite open, and I'm excited for that one. That one's going to be awesome. All right, guys. Well, today we're going to be talking about the number one, right? We all want to be number one. We all want to win, right? Be number one. That's what number one means, is winner. Well, we're actually going to be talking about today how the number one is the worst number in your business, unfortunately. So, though we want to win and be at the top, number one is not always great. And the problem is with the number one is if you have one product or one employee or one store, one location, right? One service. If you have one client that makes up a big majority of your business, you're in trouble. You're vulnerable, and just one step away from your company could crumble because of that one. If you're the sole entrepreneur the solopreneur that's wearing all the hats, you might be able to create a great life for yourself, right? Or great income. Maybe you're not a great life because you're probably just working really hard and working a lot. But, you know, it can feel like, oh yeah, I'm doing it and it's just me. But that's not always a good thing, and we're going to talk about that today. So let's jump right in, Troy. Otherwise, I'm going to start giving away all the rest of it. So let's do this.
Exactly. Like Trevor said, one of anything, in your business, especially if it becomes a substantial part of your income, leaves you very vulnerable to rapid failure.
Correct.
In the business. So a lot of times it takes us forever to build the business up, but if we're reliant on one thing, that can just take us down super fast. Mm-hmm. And we're going to share some experiences with that. So the first one is one person.
Yeah.
That if you're the only person in your business, that puts you at a lot of risk. And just in our own business, again, we like to share with you real life experiences from our own business over the last 22 years. And, so one of those things is, luckily there's the two of us in the business, but separately at different times. Like, for example, there was a time back in 2019 where I got Parsonage-Turner syndrome and I was paralyzed.
That was crazy.
My arms were paralyzed for like 6 weeks. And I couldn't lift them. And I basically was just stuck at home. And in terrible, terrible pain. And you had to step up and take care of everything at the office, take care of all the clients, get everything going while I tried to, manage that and heal.
Yep.
And then it was not a couple of months later after I was, after I was Yeah, so it would have been 2020, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. After I was able to get movement back in my arms, it was a couple months later.
Yeah.
You blew out your back,
I blew out my back.
and you were down for pretty much.
Well, no, that had to have been 19. That was 19.
Yeah, that was
dude.
19. So mine must have been 18.
Yours was 18. Mine
Yeah.
was 19 because then in 20 I got hit with COVID and pneumonia.
That's true.
So no, it was a rough 3 years. 4
Yeah.
years.
That's right. Absolutely right. But yeah, I mean, you were down for almost a year.
A year. It was like a year. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah. And so then luckily I was there to step up and take over your part of the business.
Correct.
So that it kept going and
Mhm.
income kept coming in, and we
That's
both
right.
survived it.
Yep.
Right. And I've thought about that many times, that if it was just one of us, if one
Oh.
of us was the owner, sure, we have employees and everything. But, if you don't have employees and you don't have a partner who can help you out, then when illness hits,
Oh.
it can devastate your business.
Absolutely. Like I know an entrepreneur specifically, I'm thinking of one who they make really great money, but they're a solopreneur. They do everything. They are like, I don't want to hire anybody else. I can't trust anybody else. And we'll get a little bit more into that down here when we talk about employees, but they make a great living. However, they've had a few times where they've been unable to work. And when they're not working, they're definitely not making money. It's not like a residual type of business. A lot of businesses aren't a residual type of business. If you aren't showing up, you're not making money. And even though he has made a lot of money in his life and he makes a lot of money every month, I mean, he can literally go out in a week and he'll come back in, like, when I say a week, I mean 3 to max 5 days. And he'll be like, oh yeah, I sold $30,000 this week.
Wow.
And I'm just like, whoa, that's awesome. So he can make a ton of money, except for when things happen.
Yeah.
And then he's down and out. And then he goes from making a ton of money to zero.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
All right. So let's talk about kind of the solution. The solution may be that you get a partner in your business.
Yeah.
If that's
Could be.
something that makes sense for you.
Yep.
Another solution, a little bit easier solution, is expand and build a team around you.
Mm-hmm.
Have people who work for you, employees.
Yes.
So that's a great way to protect yourself, so that if something does happen to you,
Yep.
then you're okay.
Yep.
Make sure you have great employees that can take care of the work. Now we'll kind of move into that next. So now you may say, okay, great, that's your solution, get employees. Well, that's your next risk, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're too reliant on one employee in your business,
Yep.
then you're in the same boat,
Yeah.
right?
Because I mean, a lot of entrepreneurs, what they do is they'll bring on that employee, and usually that first employee is kind of a key employee.
Yes.
Right? They should be someone that you're looking at going, I want this person to be a manager someday. I want them to grow with the company. I want them to help train and run things.
Yeah.
And you want to have a lot of trust in that person. But that also could create a problem when there's just one of them, right? You've got to set it
Exactly.
up right. So anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So you need to have some backup, right? So
Yep.
in the beginning, if it's just you and one employee, guess what? You're the backup.
Yeah.
So you better hope nothing goes wrong with you, because if something happens
Yeah.
to the employee, then it's back on you.
Because it's really nice when you are able to take an employee and push things off onto them to do, and it frees up you to do other things, not just frees up your time, but actually frees it up so that you can be productive
Yeah.
with other things.
Grow the business.
Grow the business. When that employee, just think about simple things like they go on vacation.
Yes.
Or they get sick. Well, guess what? You now have assumed more responsibility on your side, and then so your plate is full. Now you have to take their plate and eat it too,
Yes.
because they're gone for that period of time or whatever it is.
Yeah, and it gets really hard. Absolutely. So one thing you can do is hopefully you can build up a team that's more than just one more employee. You get multiple employees. And one thing that's really smart to do is to cross-train your employees.
Right.
So for example, you should be able to, like, even with us, like our support guys and our sales guys.
Yep.
Our support guys know what the sales guys do. They
Yep.
understand the product very, very well, and they know how we sell the product. Our sales guys also know how to support the product that they
Correct.
sell.
Correct.
Right? So if someone is busy or someone is out, we can have another one of the employees jump in and help out with that job.
Right. Exactly.
So we've cross-trained them to do more than just their job. And again, it makes them a better salesman.
Totally.
And it makes them a better support
The better your employees, all of your employees, understand your business, your services, the better that they will be at their jobs.
Yes.
Even if it's a part of the company that doesn't pertain to them.
Mm-hmm.
All the time, at least.
Exactly. The only people we haven't cross-trained is our developers because
we don't want them doing anything other than developing.
Yeah. We don't want them on the phone with our customers.
As we just lock them to their desks and say, don't go anywhere.
Exactly.
Don't talk to anybody.
And that's what they appreciate.
They like that.
All right. So next thing we want you to think about is, do you have one service or one product? And this is a big one.
Right.
So are all of your sales in your company dependent upon one service or one product? And you may be saying to yourself, like, I built this awesome service or this awesome product, and I'm the best at it.
Yeah.
Right? I'm the very best, and everybody's going to come to me. Well, they might.
Yeah, and you might be for now.
Yeah, for now. But eventually that might change.
Easily.
So, if you only have one service or one product, and that's where the majority of your income, and I'm going to throw in there one client as well.
Yeah.
If that's where the majority of your income is coming from, then you are literally, at risk.
Yeah, and I'll tell you a story about us personally. Back in the day, we used to focus in our early days, we were like, let's get some big clients. Like, let's focus on big clients. That's all you need. When you're talking big clients that literally pay you millions a year, you only need to gain one or two a year, and you're like, holy crap, my company's growing exponentially, right? Well, on the flip side of that, it really hurts when one of those clients leaves. And I remember we had a client leave that in overall was paying about $100,000 a month, which is about $1.2 million a year.
Yeah.
And they didn't leave because we weren't awesome. We were awesome. We like doubled that company. And I'm talking a company that's doing, hundreds of millions of dollars, right? And with situations like that, CEOs changed, people change, employees come and go, or the top dogs come and go, board members change. Anyways, long story short, somebody's buddy ran a company like ours, and they thought that, they were going to hook their buddy up and probably get a kickback, to be honest with you. But they cut us off. Boom. We were gone. And you're talking like $1.2 million a year gone in total. It's like, and you go, oh, and that just kills you. And that's when we said, this sucks. Like, there is no loyalty amongst the giants of the world, right? How do we figure out building our business in a way that creates loyalty, people who appreciate what we do? And that's when we shifted focus, and we decided, how do we take big business knowledge and experience and give it to the little guys to help grow and fight those big giants, right? So now we decided, instead of, helping the Goliaths, we were going to, find the Davids and slay those Goliaths.
Exactly. So that's the key, is you just cannot have we just had Easter, so you can't have all your eggs in one basket, right? Yeah. Because you're at risk. So the solution to that problem is, what additional services or products can you easily add to your business?
Right.
What ancillary things can you do in your business that create additional streams of revenue to diversify?
And if you can find some way of recurring revenue, that's always a phenomenal way to do it. And so some people think, well, I don't know, and we can't name every business, but just for instance, like gutter cleaning. Yeah. Right. So window washers may jump into also gutters and gutter cleaning, things like that, because they'll do multiple things a year. Well, with gutter cleaning, you can then set up a not a monthly, but it would be like at least 2 or 3 times a year that you go back and get that same client. So you set up a package for them. Yep. So maybe your big business is installing gutters or doing gutter guards, but even with gutter guards, there's still cleaning that has to happen. Yep. And so another thing you could add to it is just, again, having a package that they pre-purchase and they get a discount for doing it, where you're going to come back 3 times that year and clean those gutters and those guards. check everything out and do an inspection. Don't just call it a cleaning. Call it an inspection and cleaning.
Yep.
Make sure that there is no leaks or anything like that, right?
Exactly. And you may be going, well, shoot, I don't know what services I could add. Guess what? The first thing you should look at is, what are your competitors doing?
Totally.
What additional services are they offering that you're not offering?
Yep.
Right? Because you've already got the customer.
Yep.
And they need additional services. They're going to be paying somebody else to do those services. So why not do them yourself?
Absolutely.
As long as they fit and make sense with your business. And then the other thing too is you can also, if it's not a service you want to get into, you're like, yeah, no way. There's no way I'm going to do that, right?
Right.
Well, guess what? You can find referral partners. You can find other businesses that provide those services because, again, your clients are going to use those services.
Right.
So why not talk to your clients about those services, refer them over to the other business, and get paid a referral fee for doing it, right? You'd be surprised how many businesses will give you a good, referral fee because they don't have to market.
Yeah,
to
and
find
then you're
those
building a
customers.
relationship that they can then refer back to you as well. Cross-promote each
Exactly.
other.
Yep. So that's another great way to create additional revenue. And that revenue is revenue that you pay nothing for. Right? There's no additional cost to it. That's straight into your profit, the bottom line. Okay, let's talk about marketing. We'll go over one more area. Marketing. So if you're only using one form of marketing, if you are only knocking doors, or you're only putting door hangers out, or you're only doing Google PPC.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Right? Then you really need to expand your marketing because, first off, marketing channels get stale.
Yeah, and I can't tell you, one that I want to throw in there is referrals.
Yes.
Oh, my business is built on referrals. I'm so awesome. I'm the number one. I'm the best. Everybody knows about me and everybody refers to me. I can't tell you how many times I have been told that. And I'm like, that's awesome. But if you don't build additional avenues of revenue, you will at some point get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And almost every single person I think I've ever talked to that was all like, I'm so cool about referrals, they did, because people die. Your clientele eventually dies.
Yeah.
People move. Situations happen. They lose jobs. They lose money. They can't afford you anymore. They don't need that service or whatever it is. You have to have other ways. You don't want to wait. And this is the biggest problem I feel like business owners make. Biggest problem. Get it? Listen to it right now. Is they don't diversify when things are going well.
Yes.
They wait until poo-poo hits the fan and then they're like, oh, what do I do? Oh my gosh. And then they're like coming to companies like us going, work miracles. And we're like, sorry, we warned you from the get-go. You should have done this.
I can't tell you how many times that's happened where someone's come to us and they're like, what I was doing doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
And now I need to market in a different way. Okay.
I need jobs tomorrow.
Yeah. It's like, great. And they're like, okay, so what's your budget? Well, I've got no money left. I've got nothing left.
Yeah.
They wait till that last minute and they're in a situation that there's no way to get out of.
And guess what? It hurts a lot less when you try an avenue of marketing and it doesn't work when you have a lot of money.
Yes.
So do it now. Do it when things are good.
Yes. So again, like we said, those channels can get stale. Eventually the door hangers don't work as well. Or with PPC, new competitors are always coming in and they're using the same marketing as you. So we see this all the time, and Trevor's talked about it many times on the podcast with, our Google ads.
Yeah.
Competitors come in, they put a huge budget against it. And, so our marketing's not going to work as well because of what they're willing to spend.
Yep.
But again, usually they fall off after a period of time because they don't know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're still there and we're making, we're having successful marketing with it.
So basically, like we talk about tracking everything, right? So just specifically with PPC, talking about what Troy's doing, it's like this. Month to month is different.
Yeah.
But when we track it over a year, it goes very steady. Even though there's highs and lows, we are pretty steady because it all equals out over the year. So it's important. Track your stuff.
Exactly. And there's one, I think it was Dan Kennedy, one quote that Dan Kennedy used to always say, whoever can spend the most money to acquire a customer wins.
Yes. Everyone thinks the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I need to drive it down to where I'm paying, 50 cents a customer, and
If you have a business that's 50 cents a customer, you're rocking and rolling.
yeah, exactly. But guess what? It's not going to take long for your competitor to go, well, I'll pay $1
Exactly.
to get that same customer.
Exactly.
So it really is a matter of, whoever can spend the most money to acquire the customer really does win.
That's right.
And so you need to make sure that you're diversified, because if all of your competitors are doing the same marketing as you, there's going to come a point where you can't spend more than them and you're going to lose.
Yeah.
So, but if you have multiple channels, multiple streams of marketing, and multiple streams of income coming in from those different forms of marketing, then when one of them goes a little stale,
Yeah. Or gets expensive.
or gets way too expensive for a time, that's okay,
Yeah.
right?
And the other thing that's great about it is when you have those multiple channels of marketing, you can afford to spend more on one. Let's say one, like for instance, for us, PPC fluctuates because of competitors popping in and popping out of the market. Our cost goes up, but our cost over here stayed the same, or even maybe got better for a time, a period, or whatever. Things are always fluctuating. And so again, overall, we're doing well, we're profitable, we're making money. And so do we just, oh my gosh, this got so expensive, shut it off, shut off the last 10 years worth of work? No, ride it out. And yes, there is a point, at some point you may have to abandon something,
Right.
but you don't do it right away. And again, doing all this while you're making money and things are good they afford you the ability to be able to not make gut reactions and to think and watch and be patient, which is huge in a business, because most companies, they do things out of gut reaction.
Yep. And this is why, going back to our topic, why 1 is the worst number in a business. I was thinking about it. You know why 1 is the worst? We all think number 1, like you said, but 1 is only 1 away from 0.
I know.
And 0 is nothing. So we don't want to be that close to 0 in our business.
No.
All right. Anything else, Trevor, before we hit the homework?
Let's hit the homework. All right, guys. Identify this week one area in your business where you are at risk, and start putting in place your plan to protect yourself from the number 1. All right, guys. Thanks so much for being with us. We will catch you guys next week on a new episode of SoTellUs Time.